What is one thing that makes so many people uncomfortable and creates so many psychological issues, concerns, sometimes even illnesses concerned with eating and other aspects? It's called body shaming. What is body shaming? Body shaming is an aspect of our relationship in which somebody looks at your body and makes you feel that you are not worth what you are. It's one of the major aspects that psychologically has come to affect so many people, especially young people, including both men and women. In fact, it is so important that in many aspects that it preoccupies us that we only think about our lives and our body and how it looks like. Let us ask, why do people use it? Or where does it arise from? It arises from the perspective that some of us want to make others feel that they are not worthwhile. And that is why in many aspects, especially when it comes to ladies and to women, it is associated with several eating disorders. One of the most common of these eating disorders is anorexia and bulimia, and others that include overeating and other aspect of it. Now, what is anorexia and why is this important? Anorexia is when the person fails to eat. The reason why they do not want to eat, and that's why it's becoming very common and it's associated with body shaming, is because the person is made to feel that maybe they are overweight or that the body shape they have is not as good as it should be. And this is where you come up with words like petite, kanono, for those who come from Kenya. The person is made to feel that the way you look is not the way you should look. So the petite is the typical slim girl who is shape 8. It's the model. So that the women, with due respect, or ladies who may have a slightly bigger body shape are made, for instance, to feel that the way you are and the way you were made is not right. Why is body shaming associated with this, and what is the psychological implication? The psychological implication is you are inadequate, you are a nobody, and you have no beauty, and you're not worth yourself. And that's why we must go back to psychologically asking you and every one of us to start accepting ourselves and how we look. It's not true that we look perfect or the way we would like. Maybe with my own lack of hair, I might want to have more hair. There are people who also feel that their eyes are a bit slim. There are those who feel they have a short nose. Some feel that their nose is too long. So every one of us has their own feelings of inadequacy. There are people who feel that their fingers are too long. There are some who feel they are too short. And there are people who feel they are short. There are people who feel they are too tall. Body shaming is when you use the person's body to make them feel inferior and that they are not worth it. And that is why when it comes to eating, like anorexia and the failure to eat, the problem is not that the person has a problem with the food. The problem is psychological. The person is psychologically disturbed because they do not want to eat, because they want to have a particular shape that is acceptable to somebody. Let's connect it with bulimia. In bulimia, you find the person eating endlessly. The person can eat endlessly, and then after some time, you find them putting their fingers into their mouth, or even using chalk or other aspects to make them vomit. Why? The eating endlessly has nothing to do with hunger. It is hunger as in physical hunger. By the way, what happens to us psychologically when we are hungry? When the body gets hungry, it sends signals to the brain, and it tells the brain that you are hungry. That is physical. But in psychological hunger, you are hungry psychologically and emotionally. So you feel that you are deprived. But it is not the stomach, it's the brain. And that's why in bulimia, the person tends to overeat or eat too much, or is always eating, because the hunger is not physical, it is psychological. And that's why you can find someone who eats until they start vomiting. This and other eating disorders are associated with our psychological disturbances. And that's why you find that most aspects to do with food have something to do with psychological disturbance rather than physical or physiological hunger. And that is why you need to start by asking yourself, what is disturbing you? then you need to come to terms. So ask yourself, what is it that I'm doing about my life? One, why am I eating? The body sets signals so that you eat. And that's why when you start eating, you eat a healthy diet. A healthy diet is full of nutrients. A healthy diet is not full of sugary foods that you keep in your bag so that you can satisfy your yearning for hunger. Healthy eating is about you eating healthy, taking a lot of drinks, taking a lot of water, and staying healthy. Now, while we are in body shaming, it can also happen to men. And that's very important, especially when the men are either too tall or short. And you know there are many people who enjoy short men, starting with the short men syndrome. So that short men are made to feel like they are nobodies. This man is so short. You are so short, you require a stool to stand on. I found this in schools and among teachers, especially when the young man is very short and then plump. Plump. And then even when it comes to playing football or games, he's told you can't play any game. So they are removed from the field and put aside because they are too fat that they can't play football or any other game. Or when they are put, they are told you'll be the goalkeeper because you can't move. You see, psychologically, it starts affecting the child. What can we do as parents and as teachers? The first thing we should do is accept the person's body the way they are. Especially when this is your child. You need to tell your child, you are lovely, you are made in the image of God, and God has made you this. And even when the child has problems with wearing clothes, make them comfortable with their clothing, but of course make sure that they eat a healthy diet. And a healthy diet includes good nutrients, so that you can, especially if this is a child, you can stay away from sugary foods like crepes, ice cream, chocolate, sodas, and all that. And if you must give this child juice, you can give them juice that is made from fruit so that it is more natural and the person therefore has more nutrients. While we are at it, let us go to spouses. Spouses are one of the worst in body shaming, especially men. Especially when the man keeps telling the wife, you are too fat, I can't go anywhere with you. You are too big, I can't. First of all, women are not fat. They are big. Your body can only be big or maybe small. It's a pig that is fat. So you can't tell somebody that they are fat. And actually, I've also seen it with women, where the man, the lady keeps telling the man, my husband, you are so big, we need to buy another car. It is true they may need another car, but what the person needs is a word of encouragement that perhaps you need to be very careful with the way you are gaining your weight. Because for instance, for men, when your legs are unable to carry you and you are a bit unhealthy, it has so many repercussions. Because you see, a healthy body has issues, just like an unhealthy body can have issues. And therefore, you need to be very careful with your eating so that you connect it with you don't connect it to your body shaming. So the body shaming does not become the problem. This video is not about eating. It's not about how you look. It's about body shaming. It's about people making you feel that your body is inadequate. That's the most important word. So you must start with your own self and accept yourself that I am who I am beautifully made. God has made me this way. If I must do exercises, I can do exercises. If I can't see very clearly, because I may have problems with my eyes, I can get specs. If I have a long nose or a short nose, it's okay to serve the purpose. If I have a slightly bigger body, and maybe it requires exercises, or it requires me to eat a more healthy diet, I can consult a doctor, I can consult my nutritionist. If I have problems with my body, I can look for ways to sort it out. And if I have problems with other aspects of my life, including relationship, I can sort it. But body shaming is bad. And it is not when you keep referring to somebody's body so that you make them feel pitiful, you make them feel self-pity on themselves, and you make them feel that they are inadequate. We cannot use our body and other people's body to make people feel inadequate or to make them feel inferior. Everybody is unique and superior in their own way. But above all, we ourselves must love ourselves. We must accept ourselves. We must accept who we are. We must raise our self-esteem. We must feel that life is meaningful and purposeful. And we must feel that we are precious in our own way, in our own godly image, the way we are made. How can you handle body shaming? What is it that you can do? There are several things you can do. Number one, you need to accept who you are, yourself. Who am I? How can I define myself? Who do I say I am? So you raise your own self-esteem so that you identify yourself as a person, as a unique person, made in your own image, in God's way, in God's unique way, in your own way. That is yourself. Then after that, you look at any problem or issues or concerns you could have with yourself or with your health. For instance, if you feel that you are uncomfortable with your own health, you feel you are too slim or as your body is a bit slightly bigger than you would want, you can work on it yourself. Remember, you accept it in your mind who you are, and then you move on to it. Number three, you need to look for ways and means to eat a healthy diet so that you are healthy. Now, the health is about you, not about body shaming. Remember, don't go for what people tell you and the inadequacies people point out to you. Go for your own health, your own healthy well-being, and who you are. You may be short, you may be tall. You may be a man, you may be a woman. However God made you, first of all, accept yourself. Now, let's move now to other aspects of support, like family, friends, colleagues, and neighbors, and partners. First, parents. As a parent, accept your child the way they are. Second, encourage them. If the child has a problem, even with eating and eating a lot of junk food, encourage the child to eat healthy eating. How? If you want the child to eat healthy eating, avoid sugary foods like chocolate and all that before meals, so that the response of the stomach can become hungry, and then it sends a message to the brain, and then the person can eat a healthy diet. By giving the person a lot of sugary foods and chocolate and all that, the person feels satisfied, and therefore they are unable to eat. Then, when you're with the children, make sure that you also give them friendly foods like milk, fruits, and such, even when you go out. And even when you pack foods that are healthy and nutritious. While we are at it, let's go for the partners. The first thing is, love your partner the way they are. You receive them the way they are, love them the way they are. Then two, if the two of you or one of you feel uncomfortable with any parts of your body, discuss it openly and see what you can do. Like exercises, like jumping with a rope, if you can. I forgot my rope, I would have jumped. Then do a bit of exercises. And then three, you can also discuss what you like about the person in an open way. One of the things I keep telling men is, if you don't like the dresses that your wife is wearing, buy her one. If you are a man and if you are ready and you don't like the shirts that your husband is wearing or the t-shirts, buy him one. So that the two of you complement each other rather than body shaming. Then when it comes to colleagues and it comes to members of the neighborhood and all that, instead of discussing behind somebody's back, look at this one, look at how he looks. If you are uncomfortable with them, attend seminars on eating a healthy diet, body shaming, and such. And we give all these talks even in churches. We are talking about them in the media, we are talking about them in the newspapers, and we are saying, accept who you are. We should accept you who you are. We should accept your height. We should, whether short or tall, we should accept the way God has made you. And then after that, we can look for ways to deal with some of the inadequacies that we can do. We may deal with some, we may not deal with others. So we must also accept what is it that you can do. And that way, we avoid body shaming. And not just body shaming, we raise the self-esteem of every one of us, others, including our children, our partners, and family members. Let us make everybody feel they are worthwhile.